चक्षु चक्षुनतिं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वं पदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णव च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगुणा रघुनाथं तं जीवं साद्वैतं परिजन सहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादं सहगुणा ललिता श्री विशाखं च। हे कृष्णा कृपा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश्वर गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्तकांचने गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। But Ashwin is not there today.
He is also not well today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, we can start Mangalacharan.
We already finished.
We have just done the Mangalacharan.
Oh, already finished. Okay, it's nice, good.
Okay, so now we are starting. We are on 14th chapter, the three modes of material nature. And the text for today is text 14. I hand over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So I start. I can start, right? Okay, yes. No problem. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So anyone read the sloka, or I do the needful?
Prabhuji, we haven't done the sloka.
Okay. So anyone can do the sloka, and then I start from the translation. If there's no one, then I can do it myself.
I think in Eldoret they are having challenges of light.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
No problem. I'll do that. Sarvadeshu dehasmin prakasya upajate jnanam yada tata vidyat vividham sattva iti uta. Word to word translation. Sarvadeshu, in all the gates. Deha asmin, in the body, in this body. Prakasha, the quality of illumination. Upajate, developed. Jnanam, knowledge. Yada, when. Tada, at that time. Vidyat, no. Virvidham, increase. Satam, the mode of goodness. Iti utva, thus it is said. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So I continue. The purport. Since you have challenges, so let me. I not ask for repetition. Purport. There are 9 gates in the body: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, genitals, and the anus. When every gate is illuminated by the symptom of goodness, it should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, one can see things in the right position. One can hear things in the right position, and one can taste things in the right position. One becomes clean inside and outside. In every gate, there is a development of the symptom of happiness, and this is the position of goodness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Very nice chapter, very nice purport, very technical but very deep philosophy. So we need to understand that Sarva Devashu Dehe Asmin Prakasya Upajate Jnanam Yada Tada Vidyat Viridham Sattva Iti Utta. So basically, like see, we still feel here that the mode of goodness is we are okay. No, we are not okay still in the mode of goodness. Actually, we feel that mode of goodness is no. Along with the mode of goodness, we need to have a Krishna consciousness also, because the mode of goodness is basically like we are pure, we are doing everything rightly, we are no anxiety, we are happy. But that happiness, we have to take it to the little higher. We need to transcend from this goodness to the next level. Actually, that is the meaning of this particular. We'll come to that point later in the discussion. But it is important that we transit from the mode of goodness. So mode of goodness is still a challenge actually. Prabhupada writes, because it's that this sometime we feel that we acquired knowledge, we are okay. No, we are not okay actually. We are still conditioned actually in the even the still in the mode of goodness. So we have to transcend. We have to put ourselves. We need to transcend and we need to come to the pure goodness mode, which is very difficult. But at least in the goodness, it's as a platform where basically you can do a lot of. It's a beginning platform for starting your spiritual activity. So we need to transcend. To understand this point, it is we can give you a example like in the prison. In the prison house, there are different sections for like the VIP people of the VIP people, right? Those who are politician or very rich people, they have a separate cell for them. Then there is a middle class for people, and therefore women or all that, and therefore others also, right? So they're they all are different classes. They have a different level of facility available in the prison. But there is one thing common in that: they all are in the prison. They are not out of the prison, though they are getting the facility of first class, second class, whatever it is, but they are still in the prison. Similarly, maybe the guy who was the prisoner, the person who was in prison, who is in a first class prison house, feeling that okay, I'm in a good position. No, he's still in the prison. Like there was a story of like one king caught three citizen from a different state. One was the son of a king, one was the son of a minister, and one the son of a farmer. So accordingly, he put a shackle of gold in the king's son, the shackle of the silver put in the hand of the minister's son, and the iron shackle in the hand of the farmer's son. So it's all our cycle, means basically all they're captured. They are still in. So there is no, I mean, whether you got a gold prison house, or you got a silver or iron or your cycle, according to that, still you are a prisoner. So similarly, in the three mode are like this. We are still prisoner. We are still in the material, but the only difference is basically the chances for moving higher is little easier from the mode of goodness compared to the mode of ignorance and passions. Now, what happened when you are on the mode of goodness? These are covered. The mode of passions and the mode of the ignorance are covered actually, because you're on higher platform, because you understand, okay, this is not right, this is wrong, this is what I have to do, this is what I do. But you're still not in Krishna consciousness. So we need to understand that. But this is a platform you can easily go to the Krishna consciousness, and you can transcend to the pure goodness also. That is the platform. But from the ignorance, you have to come to the goodness is very difficult. From passion, it's very difficult, because there are a lot of material activity attached to it. Your mind is still indulged into those activities, and you are still into that. Those activities are there. Just so we have to. So one should not feel that I'm a prisoner. So I got this first class, second class, and all that. We try to come out from this. The only Prabhupada says that our aim should be that we should come out from it, and then we move on. Yeah. The another example we can see, that is basically that when there's a bonfire, there's a fire, right? So you see a lot of smoke in that, and then we feel that, oh, there is a smoke only, there is nothing inside. But actually there's a fire inside actually. That's the reason. Without the smoke doesn't come out without a fire. So the moment you put a little fan on the fire will illuminate again, or the fire will grow further. So meaning that when you are, so we basically now in the mode of goodness, the fire is there, but it is done. The moment you fan it, it will spark your devotional service. Means you have to transcend. So this is what the here it is saying, so every living entity, whoever is basically the first stage is to come to the mode of goodness, and from the mode of goodness need to come to the transcend to the pure goodness on the higher level. So that should be our aim all the time. Yeah, so that is what it's saying here in this. We understand that. Now, just giving an example of Prabhupada. Now, when the Prabhupads went to the Western country, and then what happened basically that he was so knowledgeable, and he actually, because of his purity, the the Americans immediately came to the Krishna consciousness. And from there, what happened? Then what happened from there is basically they got a education. They understood the what is the important for them, and this from there they elevated them to the pure goodness, or to the with the Krishna consciousness. So that is how this movement started. Now, if you look at across the Prabhupada spread the Krishna consciousness across the world because of this only, because Prabhupada knows that how to, what is required. Because when you go to any shop, right, you look for that which is the quality, which is good for my health. You will have a different product, like same product type, like for example, let's say a ghee, right? Ghee, I mean this ghee, condensed ghee, right? This whatever you call it. So it's like you get in 1000 shilling, you get in 1200 shilling, you get in 1500 shilling. But you see which is the good for me. Why it is 1500? Because the quality is good. So we go for the best quality. Similarly, when we are in the mode of good, because once you take that ghee, then it's basically it give you more strength. It is more protein in that, and more whatever is there, ingredients are there, and it's approved also, and it's quality. That's the reason. So, but the people who have less money and they can't afford it, they go for the less one. Again, they need to suffer according to that. So we always need to go for the mode of goodness, and from the mode of goodness we can transcend easily. Now, if you go to the I've seen in South Indian temple, they have you will see a turtle at the entrance of the temple, or inside of the temple. Also, I'll tell you more detail later on that. But there's a turtle there. So people say, why this turtle is doing that? But that actually represents the statue of a turtle in the entrance, and one inside the in front of the deity, and one just when you enter the temple. In North is not there, but South India there are a lot actually. Every temple you find it. And also you feel that we see some of our ancient temple, there are some statues are made which people say, oh no, this is not how this Hindu civilization is like that, how they're making statues like that. Actually people take it in wrong way. Yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say. So but actually the representation of those statues is basically to withdraw your senses there and leave your senses outside the temple. Don't come out with those senses inside the temple. That is the meaning. Why it is not inside, why it is outside. People don't notice that. There is nothing inside in the deity's area, but there's only outside, because you leave everything, whatever that you have, your feeling, whatever desire you have, whatever you think about, your this material thing, just leave it outside. Come inside with your clean heart, with the pure mind, and then come in front of the deities. So that's the reason all the temple, and mostly in you'll find many temples are there where we see the picture, people say, oh yeah, what is this, like this Hindu temple, they have a picture like their statue like that. No, that is basically meant to understand that you need to come with the purity inside, leave all your desire outside and everything, which is material desire, and then come inside that. But some people just take it, oh yeah, this is like, they take picture also along with those pictures, but they don't understand what is the meaning of that, because no one giving them an education then why these statues are made, and they don't inquire about it. They just simply they don't read it what is meant for them, because they are script. If you read if you go in detail of that, those about the temple, you ask the temple priest and all that, they will tell you why these are there. Even they are so pure inside they do the deity worshipping, these all Brahmins and all that, Pujari and all that, they know that what is the significance of that, because we need to leave everything outside, like we leave shoes outside, right? Why we leave shoes outside? Because there is an impurity in that. I was someone was telling me about our Guru Maharaj, is Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So Maharaj goes every day to worship the deity in the Mangala Aarti. Every day is a regular event. Means wherever he goes, he does Mangala Aarti first thing. Whether he comes at 2 o'clock in the morning from the flight or from any destination, but first thing he does is basically go for Mangala Aarti. So what he does basically, then the moment he comes, first he asks his assistant or the secretary to wash his slipper, the shoes, yeah, the slippers, right? After washing the slippers are kept just outside the door, right? There's a mat inside that, so when he comes out from the washroom, he will, after dressing it, he will wipe his feet on the mat, and then straight away put his shoes, wash slipper directly on feet. Why he does that? So we ask him why he does like this question, because he's saying that I don't want to take any dust of this my room or anything to the deity room, because he wash his feet very cleanly, then he washed the slipper, get the slipper washed, and then he entered into the deity room, right, after leaving the slippers. So meaning that he always feel that we should not carry the dirt inside the inside the deity altar, yeah, the deity altar, because that's what we need to learn the lesson from. Basically, we should not also carry the dirt from outside inside the altar, right? When we are entering the temple, we should leave everything. That's the reason the temples are high rise, so that the moment you walk, at least realize that I'm so tired because I'm not able to walk, because I don't have a strength, because of material intoxicated material I have taken it, because I'm not able to work. Some in South India, their temples are so high, so they check the strength whether you can reach the temple or not. It's not just like made on the ground or on the play level. They can make it, but to check the strength, you have an ability to reach to the Lord. Or they why the temples are made like so many stairs, like 1,000 stairs, 1,500 stairs are there, very very high on the temple in, like in north also, in south also, because they check your strength, so that you leave everything on the stair, and then you come by the time you are completely exhausted, then you come in the front of the Lord saying, the Lord, I'm surrendering to you, I have exhausted from this material things, now I am coming to you. So that is the reason, but we don't understand, actually that is the issue. We really don't understand why it's so made. That's why why it's not on the basement, that the deities are not in the, why it is elevated oil, because we leave everything outside and then we come to the temple. So that is the reason every temple in south having the turtle, one inside and one is outside. Some people keep it, some temple have only outside, they don't have inside. So what is the significance of turtle is basically the turtle actually withdraw the senses. Like when you see some enemy coming in, like someone is approaching, he's actually squeezed inside, all these hands, his head goes inside that shell, right? It covered with the shell, so you can't harm it. The moment you say there is no harm in that, then it's open it. So similarly, this is a lesson for it. This is a lesson we don't see from those small statue outside the temple. We don't read about them, we don't understand why it is there. So so meaning that when we come to the temple, right, we need to, when it's talking about, when you see the purport, it's saying that the translation, the manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. I'll come to that point. There are 9 gates in the body: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, genital, and etc. And then we'll come to the point. And saying every gate is illuminated by the symptom of goodness. It should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, one can see the things in the right position, one can hear in the right position. Now that's the point, is basically coming to that. is that when we leave those material, when we, let's say, just saying 2, 4, 6, 8, 7, then 8, 9, yeah, those senses, yeah, touch, mouth, and all that, all the 9 senses, the gates they mention. I'll explain you in more detail, so that in a form of story, so you will understand better. But what I'm saying here, like as I mentioned about the turtle, so the turtle, so when we come to the temple, we leave our material senses outside, and then we enter in the temple. Now inside the temple you'll see another the turtle actually, and inside the deity, just when you enter the deity order, it's in south, not in, you don't see other places. So it's all are open, like it's, your hands are out, the head is out, the turtle, all this, everything is out, meaning basically that you leave your senses to the Lord, right? As you are in front of the Lord, right? Because your hands are serving, your head is serving, your eyes are serving, your ears is serving the Lord, everything. So that is the meaning. So here basically what is saying, that when you hear Krishna, hear about the Krishna, right, or Krishna consciousness or a kirtan, anything, so you need to actually open, your ears, right? We don't have the Lord has given only 2, because like we cannot hear more than whatever is basically that Lord see that you have this much of capability, you can only hear this much, so they've given 2 only, right? So then we should close, which is not good for the Krishna consciousness, so we close it. Similarly, as an example, the turtle, it's immediately when it is enemy, when it sees a material thing, it's closed, it's all the parts, body parts, yeah. Similarly, we have to do that. Hearing also, when we see something, we see the Lord deity, the deities, Lord deities, we see that, we see it, we open our eyes. But when we see something which is material, which is not anything for us, we close it again. Similarly, example of the turtle, again the mouth is given, the example of the mouth also. We take the prasadam, and just given an example, something you like, when we are eating, so we eat prasad, but the moment we get a small piece of stone, we immediately throw it out. Why we do it? Because we can't take it, it's not good for the body, we throw it out. Similarly, we should not take it anything which is not good for, which is not recommended, the shastras, we should not take it, yeah. So anything which is good food, juicy food, fat, which is health for body, as I mentioned the last time, is satoguna food, the food which is in satoguna, we should take it. Anything which is not palatable, we should not take it, yeah. So that's which you understand. Similarly, again, the concept of turtle, the senses, everything is related to, means it's so, because nature gives us so many example, and the nature is adopted, nature is given by the Lord, but we don't learn it, and when we go to those temples and all that, we should learn about that. Now here saying basically that, so when we sees that, because our sense get illuminated actually, like illuminated, basically that we get a knowledge actually, like as I mentioned, like you open these 2 ears, and when you hear about the Krishna, you get so much of knowledge, like you get a knowledge about the material, and you get the knowledge about the spiritual also. Now the people have a misconception that the devotees, they don't have a much knowledge of the material world, but that is wrong actually, that's a wrong statement. But they have a more knowledge, they understand what is this matter is made of, right? Where this matter is come from, the material things come from, how to avoid those matter. But the people who are in this material world, they don't differentiate, for them whatever comes on their way, they take it. But a devotee differentiate what is the material, what is good for them, and how it is come, where it is come from. Maybe they don't have the scientific knowledge, but they have the basic knowledge of the source, where it comes from actually, everything, this entire nature, whatever we see in this world, they know that where exactly the source. So they have a clear concept of that, what is material and what is spiritual. But the people who are in material, they don't know actually what is spiritual. For them everything is material, even they don't know even what is material also, though they are living in that world, yeah. So it is very important to understand, sir. So as I mentioned, that we need to surrender to the Lord, and that is what we have to do it. Now the important point is basically mentioned in the purport is 9 gates. What are those 9 gates? That is mentioned in that 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, mouth, genital, and anus. Okay, so every part get illuminated. Now there is in the 4th canto there is a very nice story about Parchinnabari. Okay, so I'll just tell you about the story. It is related to that. And he was a king actually. And this Parchinnabari want to, he prayed actually. And the Narad Muni Narad Muni came over there, and he asked the Narad Muni, how I can get free from this bond of karma. How can I get free from this bond of karma? I want to get rid of this thing, karma. So what should I do it? So then he recited a story of Puranjan and his friend Avigyathan and Puranjan. There is two people, two friends, and these two friends of the same age, right? And they were brilliant. I mean, they were very educated, and they were always free, and they were happy, and they always go together. Yeah, and wherever the Puranjan goes, Avigyathan also go with him. So there is, I mean, they always together. So what happened that one day that they were both of them roaming that area. So they saw a palace with the 9 gates. Yeah, the palace with the 9 gates. And that palace was actually located in the foothills of the Himalaya. And the name of that palace was Navdwara Puri. Navdwara Puri. Navdwara means Dwara means the doors. So there are 9 doors. It is called the in the foothills of Himalayas. It's called Navdwara, and so the palace. And he liked it very well. And then he left his friend. He said that let me go there inside the palace. And he left his friend Avigyathan. He said, okay, let me go there. So he left his friend and he entered into the palace. And in the palace, he saw a beautiful lady, and that lady had the basically having the carrying the 5-headed snake, like umbrella, like you see the Anant Shesh, over there. Similarly, she had a 5-headed snake umbrella, and she had 11 bodyguards and the soldiers accompanying her. So this Puranjan, he likes it, and he asked that what is your name is. That lady introduced her name, Puranjani. She said, my name is also Puranjani, not Puranjan. So she said, my name is Puranjani. So then he liked her, and after some time he proposed her that I want to get married to you, and they got married. And what happened that over a period of time they were there in that happily living in that palace. And then after some time there was a king called Kal. So he attacked the palace, and in that the fight, this Puranjan died. The king Puranjan died. And while before the death, before about to die, he remembered his wife Puranjani, and he remembered his wife Puranjani. And while he's remembering his Puranjani, he took a birth of a lady in his next birth. Yeah, so he died, and he become the lady in the night. And she was born in the king Vidarbha Desa, something like that. Yeah, I don't remember the name exactly, but she born in that. And she got married to the Pandya Raja, one king, Pandya king. She got married, and after some time the lady Puranjan converted to a lady, got married to the Pandya Raja, king, Pandya king. And after some time the king and they said we will go to the forest, and they went to the forest. So in the forest, so after some time that the king died actually. He did this thing, austerity something and all that, after he died. And this this is Narad Muni is telling the story to Prachan Bari, initially, which I've started with that. So when this king died, then she said that what I do, right? So I also burn myself, I'll ignite myself. So we see that why this culture is there is because of sati, sati, because they burn themselves, right? So why they burn actually, ladies, that's people ask the question, why it's painful. No, actually the separation from the husband is more painful than burning the body, actually. The separation from the husband, because the love is so deep, actually. People don't understand, and because later on it's so diluted, they made it like a necessary of burn this lady, like still 19th century that was there in India, they are torturing and burning the ladies, to make a sati, because husband is not there and all that. But earlier it's basically separation. The fire is nothing in front of them, is burning this. So that's the reason in ancient time or in our scripture, why they died, like Gandhari also put herself into the fire, because she can't separate herself. She put she blindfolded herself because her husband cannot see that. So it's a love, actually, affection, compassion is there. So that's the reason they put in the fire, and for them this fire is nothing. But today it's because there's no love today, actually. There's no compassion, there's no understanding, actually, between husband and the wife. So that's the reason. So there's no. So when she was about to jump into the fire, then a Brahmin came in, actually, and he stopped her. What are you doing in that? So then, no, I've left my this thing. My husband passed away. Now what should I do in this forest? I should also put myself in the fire, and then I'll relieve from this world. Then I said, no, you should not. Then he actually told her what you were, actually. You are a Puranjan, in the King Puranjan, you are there, and you have a friend. Then he said, okay, now this lady, okay, so then whatever, then he stopped, actually, this Brahmin stopped her from going into the fire, and he stopped her, and okay, fine. See, and this Brahmin actually turned into the Avigathan, the same person who actually you were. The Avigathan was nothing but is a supreme personality of Godhead, actually, because the God is always with us. That's why they were the same age, means because the God is of my age now. In my body, he's of my age. Wherever I go, God I take. Whether I go to anywhere, whether I go to in the plane, God is with me. When I go to the office, God is with me. When I'm in temple, God is with me. So that is means is all. But I left the God for the material desire, because I want to enjoy it. So that 9 gate is basically that I'm not using for the goodness, I'm using for passion, ignorance, for my sense gratification. So he left, so I enjoy. And then who's that? Why Puranjani is my mind. Puranjani is my mind. So basically my mind taking me everywhere, right? And that's what it is basically. There's so many, actually. It's a big, if you read it in 4th canto, there are many. It's a very nice chapter, and it's basically related to the mode of goodness, how to come out from there. Then this Brahmana brought her back to the about this. So this Puranjan actually is nothing but it's basically a jiva who's basically, and then Vegathan is none, basically the supreme personality of Godhead, who actually mentioned that this thing. And as I mentioned, and because we are so much, our mind is basically, I want to enjoy, this is my body, and that's the problem is, actually. So as I come to this point, the why I'm mentioning this, because this is related to this story of that, because we have to illuminate. When we illuminate our nose, eyes, and all that, then we'll get the actual knowledge. What is the supreme? Who's the supreme personality of God? What should be our duty? Who we are? What we have to do? What is our goal, and all that? All this thing knowledge will come to that. If we don't illuminate, right? Sometime when you see a rose, right, which comes from the altar or from the deity, right? We see ordinary rose from outside, and there's no difference, actually. There is no, but the actually the power, the potential goes in that flower, which you don't see actually. When we offer the flower, the Lord sees that. There is there was a very somebody asked the question that how do you know that, that Lord, you have taken your the offering, right? And how do you know that Lord have eaten your prasadam or the bhoga? So that's a very valid question that somebody asked, and it's very difficult to define, but there is a way to define. It's basically that how the Lord's take it, how the Lord's, maybe that some of the thing we don't see in this world, like there are so many bacteria in this or the so many like COVID bacteria are there in the, we cannot see, but it comes in our body when we feel it. Then we realize something enter in our body, then we realize it. Okay, so how the Lord sees it, how the Lord takes your offering, and how the Lord's take whatever you offered in the, it doesn't mean the Lord need to physically, maybe the Lord comes, but our eyes, our vision is not that clear, then we can see that. But to make a very simple understanding, like for example, I say this is forefinger, right? You can see my finger, right? It's a forefinger, right? Yeah. So like four, yeah. So now this is, you have registered in your mind, right? It's a four, right? But it's still my finger is here with me only, but how it registered in your mind, right? Or if I show something like, for example, I'm showing this one to this one, you are seeing this is sandpiper, right? But the sandpiper is here. Now if I ask you what you have, you will say sandpiper, isn't it? But how it came in your mind actually, because something is transformed. It's a very subtle actually. Basically, like the similar way the Lord takes the our offering, right? We don't see it, but it's transferred to your mind, right? It's immediately transferred to you, this particular word, but the word still here. That's what we see here only, we don't see here, because how this transformation happen actually. That is the issue, because we don't have a trust actually, we don't have a faith, we don't have a, we want to see everything happening, like practically happening. Okay, something this going on, that going on, glowing, and then we see, oh yeah, then still we don't trust. Even the Lord comes in front of us, still will not trust. So that's the Lord, that's the reason Lord doesn't appear in this, because he'll say some joker will come. That is the mentality we have, like that. So what I'm saying, the coming to the point is basically that these all the Prichan Bari and Puranjan stories basically to tell us that we should not leave the time, and then leaving the God outside, right? Basically that we are coming to the mode of ignorance and passion. And thus the platform for mode of goodness is basically is a stage where basically we can elevate ourselves to the spirituality. Actually, from the spirituality start from there, or then we understand what is good for us, what is bad for us, what is we are. So that is a very good plum. But still, we should not be like, okay, I'm very happy. No, you are not happy still. You are still, that rope is carrying you, right? But you have to cut that rope by transcending, by taking the you're surrendering, and then have a faith in whatever the spiritual activity you are doing. So this is very, very important chapter. As I mentioned last time also, one should read it very carefully. It's a bit technical, but yes, one understand that we can easily transcend to the, because we have to all the time we have to chant here, remember, this is our stage, we have to do all the time, then you can come to the goodness. Otherwise it's very, very difficult in this material world to come to the goodness. We'll remain in passion. Yes, we get a mix, doesn't worry about that. I mean, you can't be active all the time, yeah, so it happens, but try to chant as much as you can. Don't give a gap. The moment you give a gap, it's the other modes comes into that, and it's very difficult to move out from those like I've seen that sometimes these like the leopard, they catch the crocodile also, but by the time he's tried to withdraw his senses, it already died, because, so we have to be very careful from this maya. So but yes, most of the time we have seen that they withdraw the senses, and that's what we have to be very careful of the senses. we have to use this. Then saying the illumination will happen. Illumination, basically, then you will understand, actually the knowledge will enter in your, that how important is everything for us, how association is important as, how we hear it, how we chant it, how we taste it, and all that. That's all is there. There was I was hearing about, this is not, but yes, we can, there was a very interesting story I was hearing, that there was a donkey, actually, and the owner of the donkey loses what is called that, they put a the rope in the neck, what is called noose or whatever, I don't know, right? So he lost that, actually. The donkey was there, he lost it, actually, that rope. And then he said, no, this donkey will run away, so I better hold his ear. So he was holding his ear, the donkey ear, and then one hand he was holding ear, and then he was taking. And then the saintly person came. He said, what you are doing? He said, I lost his the rope. So he said, why are you holding his ear? No, he will run away. So he said, no, so that's the reason I'm holding. So then you tie him. He said, I don't have a rope. No, you tie him. He said, how do I tie this thing, a donkey, without a rope? He said, you pretend that you are tying a rope to the donkey. So okay, so what he does, he put a rope, like, like this, put a rope, and then and he put it on the ground with a string or whatever it is, hook. He put on a hook and all that, and then he tied the donkey, and then he said, okay, now you can go. Then he left this person for his work and all that, the owner of the donkey. And when he came in the evening, the donkey was still there in the same position. He didn't move, but it was virtually, I mean, there was nothing actually tied. I mean, but he did it that way. And then he said, come. Then he even forgot that he saw the donkey is there, but he forgot that he tied, because it's not visible, isn't it? So he tried to pull the donkey. Let's come, let's. But he beaten the donkey, but he was not moving at all, because he was tied. Who poor donkey was tied. Then he went back to the saintly person. What you have done is not moving at all. My donkey is. So he asked, did you untie him? He said, no. Go and untie him. How the same way you have done, same way. So he untied it the same way. Similarly, we are also tied in this material world like this. We are pretending, actually, that we are tied up. Actually, we are so, when we get into the problem, we say, oh, I have so much of problem, my God. But actually, that's not a problem. Actually, it's basically a problem is there, but we need the mantra. Our Guru Maharaj says that whenever you problem, just chant. Your problem will solve. Yeah. So that's so easy. Always tell them, come in the mode of goodness, so that we can transcend. So that is, we need to learn from this. Well, there's so many things are there. Yeah. So I would like to end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for all the examples. We really enjoy all the stories that you tell us, and that puts things in perspective.
Thank you.
I have a question before anybody asks the question. Prabhuji, in the mode of goodness, we become complacent, because in the mode of goodness, you become happy, and there are chances of you becoming complacent. So
yes, very true. Yes, very good point. Yes, that's what happened actually. That's the reason we become fall back into the passion and ignorance when we completely ignore it. Like sometime a student, like, is coming first. He said, oh, why I need to work? I'm coming every day. Like yeah. So somebody wrote this thing, Mr. Ajay wrote, yes, it's the fourth canto. Yes. Okay, chapter 25, correct. Okay, so we sometimes the student comes first, right? He's always said, okay, I'm coming first, why to worry about it? But then he falls, to the second or third and fourth, and he realizes, oh, because I've not worked hard on myself. So every day we have to work, actually. Every minute we have to work. The moment we slip down, actually. Yeah. So that is because we are not this sattva guna, actually. We cannot be in that always. So that's the reason we have to practice. We are practicing devotee. That's the reason we are practicing devotee. We say, no, we are already transcendented devotee. No, we are practicing. Every day we have to practice. Every day we have to hard work. The moment we sleep, that's the reason the regulation is made by Prabhupada. Attend Mangala Arati, attend Japa session, then do the Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class, Prashadam, and then you go for your work. Because then you are your major part is filled up, right? And then when slowly it will drain, slowly, then you see that clock, which is like a sand clock, right? When you upside down, so it comes very slowly. So the our in the morning hour is fully filled. This brain is fully filled with the energy, with vibration, with the Lord mercies, with the devotee association, with so many things. But the time it's when it comes on, it drains out, right? Then the evening arti is there, then again comes back. Yeah, so that's the reason it's so scientific. Krishna consciousness and everything is so scientific that it brings back you to the transcendental mode, actually, the spiritual mode. Very good question, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Are there any other questions or comments? Anybody with a question or comment? Path Prabhuji, are you there? I think Eldoret is experiencing electricity.
Blackout.
Yeah, they're all in blackout, so
Oh.
I think he's not there. But any other question from the group that are present and can hear and are not in the blackout? I guess Jai Joshi Prabhuji, you have unmuted. Do you have a question?
No, not for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Prabhuji, I think there are no more questions.
No problem.
You explain things very well, especially with the examples. I think we all will meditate on those examples, especially the turtle example really enlightened me. I had never realized what it was meant for. So thank you, Prabhuji.
You've seen in South Indian temple, right? Yes.
Even in temples of Shiva, there's first the tortoise and then Nandi, and
yes.
then you go into the Shivling. So
Yes.
you see temples even in
Yeah.
temples. So and that is the significance that you
Yes.
senses inside when you are in the material world, and when you are with God, then you
Yes.
all your senses to Him and surrender. So thank you, Prabhuji, for making that point.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Prabhuji, with that,
Thank you. Yeah.
Avinash Prabhuji, is it possible for you to close the session? Avinash Prabhuji? Okay, maybe he cannot. Prahlad, are you able to? Do you have? Okay, Avinash Prabhuji.
I'm working at the moment, but yeah,
Nice.
I mean, it was a nice class, very nice class, and like Mataji said, you gave an example of the modes and the 9 gates very well, and how to control them, and an example of tortoise. So that was very good. So I enjoyed the class, although I listened from the last 40 odd minutes, but it was very good class. So can we all glorify Prabhu with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra?
Glorify everyone. We are about to pass
okay.
the Lord. Everyone, for everyone, please. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
So I'll pray for
Vancha.
Mataji, Kriti Mataji, and Ashwin for their quick recovery, the speedy recovery for Banki Bihari, the total speed of the Banki Bihari.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Vanchakal.
Rubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Krishna, thank you.
Correct.